Ukraine, the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war. Abulo Semwagu is here with me, and my name is Amechi Anapue.
Amechi, good morning, and welcome to the working week. Okay, Tebe, welcome.
Yes, Tebe is also with us.
After the long 2 working days public holiday combined with the weekend, I welcome you back, and welcome the president-elect back, Amechi. Somebody was telling me, whispering that, don't you think this man is ready to work? He calculated his break to end on the day public holiday start, so that he will start working with you and I
today.
So it's a good sign that we have a president that is ready to work.
President-elect
that is ready to work on day one. It's a good sign. Somebody will say we have a president that knows when to go on break and when to resume. Somebody will tell you it's a good sign that the rest was indeed a good one. Amechi, he arrived yesterday, and after 35 days away, some persons in the rumor mills telling you that he went for treatment. But the president-elect never told us he was going for treatment or for medical tourism or medical whatever checkup abroad. He only told us he was going to rest, going to France, then go to Saudi Arabia. So it's surprising to some of us to see the rumor mill saying that he's back and how is his health. But you see, the president-elect, as I've said, is not the smartest, but for you to contest to be president of Nigeria, you must be counted among the smart people in the country. All of them that contested to be president of Nigeria, they are very smart people. He responded yesterday that he's hale and healthy and he's ready for the task. But beyond that, Amechi, one would ask, my late Professor Alisa in school there used to tell us then, if you go on break or if you go on leave, make sure that you have an innovation that you acquired while you're on leave. The president-elect went on break. What has he acquired while there? We saw the list he brought out for his 1-week inauguration preparation. And some
those on the inauguration
committee, yes,
planning committee, a 14-member list.
Yes, and what should bother people is what preparations did he make while away? What arrangement did he make? I know some people
he may have made, but not making it public.
Yeah, the rumor.
Not time for announcement of policies and programs.
Yes,
is on assumption of office.
Yes, the rumor some of us will expect to be coming out is who is most likely to be minister. Is Amechi one of those that will be Minister of Information? Is Tebe one of those that will be Minister of Agriculture? Is Abulu one of those that will be Minister of Digital Economy? So those are the kind of rumors we want to see.
Why are you giving me information? Why not you give me petroleum? After all, the president chose to be his Minister of Petroleum.
Yeah.
So why don't you take information?
And that is why
where you go and face the Nigerian public press while I deal with the oil companies, Abulu.
And that is why CNPP is telling him he cannot be investigating himself in the issue of missing 149 million crude barrel of oil. So if you are a minister and you are a president, a lot of load for you.
Is my friend. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Amechi. The qualifications are very clear. You must qualify to be elected a member of the House of Representatives, or appointed a minister. And the qualifications include being a citizen, I think 25 years, was the other one, not a member of a cult, and sponsored,
not convicted,
sponsored by a political party, which means you must be a member of a political party. So obviously,
no, there's no. I don't think that applies to a minister.
It does.
So
if they say you should qualify, you should be qualified to be a member of the House of. The qualification for being a member of the House.
But there are so many persons who were not members of political party.
On your nomination.
But when you come in, you become
a 25 years or 25 days. You must be 25 days old as a member
25 years
25 years of age.
Okay, of age, okay.
You know, that thing that was problematic in the past.
Yes.
And it was what caught up with Nasir Rufai as Minister of FCT. He said he's a technocrat, he's not a party member. But when the trouble started cooking in the Senate, he went there, was addressing, he said, I came with my party chairman. And the fact is that can you serve in a government without being a member of the political party
in power?
In power.
Sure, you can be serving a government without being a member of the political party in power.
Yes.
The president can appoint any APGA member. He can appoint any Labour Party member. We've seen that before.
Yes. When Obasanjo appointed APP members and they ended up in PDP.
So it's possible.
Inclusive. That's inclusive.
No, I mean technocrats.
Yes.
Obasanjo Iweala.
Yes.
Was she a member of PDP?
Eventually, there's no way she would not have identified with the party.
Was she seen in PDP functions? No.
You mustn't necessarily. I mean, the way this is, you mustn't necessarily. Some of them in some of the places, some of the, there are certain dues, that they are supposed to pay, and all of that. And there are certain party functions that you are expected to support and fund and all of that. So as long as you are doing those things, it's as good as.
I think that's why they come up with all this ministers forum, former ministers forum, so that they can lure them into political parties. But I don't think, like someone like former Minister of Power, Bart Nachi, was he a member for any political party? Even when he resigned, he didn't associate with any political party.
It depends on the person in question. If you want to draw the line, you can draw the line. You can associate with them without belonging to them. It depends on the person in question. We have seen people who served, drew the line and never crossed the boundaries.
Like Minister of Foreign Affairs.
But what you said about putting demands on them for funding, a lot of people make reference to governors, for instance, Wike funding the PDP, and we seem to accept it. If you're a minister, if a party in power or that you belong to, even a commissioner, you're expected to make some contributions that is far above even your salaries and allowances.
No, even your dues.
Far above. And we keep quiet. And that is the basis of corruption. We have accepted that as a political appointee, you have access to the treasury. As a governor, you have access to the treasury. You can dip your hands into it the way you like and fund a political party. And Nigeria moves along as if nothing has happened.
Amechi, you and I know, in such offices, we were in this country when money was picked in somebody's country home and he said they were gifts. In such offices, apart from the money...
The former GMD apart from was it 9 million US dollars?
Apart from the money,
cash?
Apart from the money you have access to as a public officer, a lot of persons bring so many things looking for one favor or the other. There is money everywhere. And I made it for party meetings. When people
is it not corruption? Is it not a form of corruption? What kind of favor are they expecting from you?
For some, it may not necessarily be in the immediate, as it were. And for some, they may not be doing it for, a gain, but the fact that the person did that to you, you also owe a debt.
So they're not doing it for a gain. So you think there's free lunch even in Freetown in Sierra Leone?
See, for instance, today, if you are appointed, there's no way I cannot be part of the celebration.
Yes, and you come with gift.
We'll be sponsoring the reception and sponsoring all of it.
So that you can get a contract.
We
hope that you get a contract.
No. When you are doing it initially, are you not my friend? When we are doing it, when the time comes, you also know what to do.
You rub my back, I rub your back.
The thing is that the discretion left to political office holders is huge. If you're a governor, for instance, the discretion that you manage the security vote without accounting to anybody, will have to think of ways of holding people to account. If you're the discretion on who gets what, we need to interrogate it. The more outside the country, you don't get this discretion. The US president can get gift, but there's a monetary cap value. Over this, you should not accept. And when you accept, it should be publicized. And when you accept, it's not for you, it's to the office. If you're leaving the White House, you leave it behind. So we have to develop such, because we encourage corruption, we beat ourselves and come out and cry. A governor is funding a political party and we clap that is a good thing, and we don't stop to point and say, where is the money coming from?
I mentioned most of these persons that have been suspended now by their parties, by their ward chairmen and all of those. If you go back, in fact, the ones that suspended Lorette Onoche were very clear. They said she has not been funding the party. Most of them is
as a government appointee.
Yes, most of them, that is the reason. Because once you don't identify, because for every party meeting that people attend, there's people that attend, even if the party meeting is in somebody's house. The person must get transportation. The money is given for logistics.
But don't you think
that is how the party mentioned when they sort of structure.
That's what they mean.
So don't you even think that our electoral process,
structure of corruption,
our electoral process should be amended when you come out to say that as a political party, if you have not won any seat, you are not seen as a true opposition. A political party will struggle tooth and nail to win even the House of Assembly seat, so they can have a voice. They tie it to the biblical, a poor man has no voice. So if you don't have, if you are a political party and you didn't win anything, so you have no voice. So beyond that, Amici, I think Budget did a report that the reason why we have so much corruption in the so much corruption in the system is that there is a high level of dependency ratio. And a civil servant that earns 200,000 naira is one wife, he has 3 children, he has his uncle's children, he has his brother's children, he has his parents at home. So the dependency ratio is so high, so people tend to dip hands.
And it's more for politicians.
More for politicians. Once you become a local government chairman, sorry for you. I remember back then, in 1999, when persons became councillor. A school start in Hunkui, somewhere in Hunkui in Kaduna State, became a councillor, and they were looking for who to become a councillor. They said, this young man just finished secondary school, he can speak a little of English. And his salary was what? 120,000 then. 120,000 naira, the guy married 3 wives in 6 months. And you can imagine, now the community see him as a big man, and by the time this 120,000 cannot feed these 3 wives, he will be looking for where to dip his hand. Corruption comes in, and he will take bribe and give bribe to get contract.
And they will invite him for naming ceremony.
And he will have to
when
spend.
your wife is giving birth and they say they are doing cesarean, you run to him for help, financial help.
When some persons say we are lazy, I apologize on behalf of those that I refuse to say that we are lazy, because it's a form of laziness. If you cannot work for the money you spend, we are hardworking. Tevi, Amici, Abulu, I think we are hardworking. We are doing our work right now. I know we are going to be paid for it. Some persons are just lying at home waiting to go and shout at the airport, oh, Tinubu is back, and they expect to get money free. Which work have you done? Is that work? I remember one patient Jonathan arrived from Germany after her treatment. Same thing happened. These Nigerians that are wasting productive time going to receive your arriving president at the airport. It doesn't make any sense, Amici. Allow this man to arrive peacefully to bring what he has gathered during the break and download it.
The street urchins they recruit in Abuja, and in fact, Nasarawa is enjoying benefits of being a nodal town to Abuja. Those that organize protests in Abuja here, the easiest place they recruit them is they cross over, just like 10 kilometers. You cross over to Nasarawa, Mararabe area. Unemployed persons, street urchins, poor women, you recruit them. Some of them are giving as low as 2,000. You think 2,000 is low? They hardly make 2,000 in 1 week in their petty retail trade. So when they offer 2,000, they come to central business area to protest. It becomes a business.
Let's not forget, this will not only happen to the president-elect Tinubu. If Peter Obi, for instance, is coming to arrive in Abuja and his supporters, they will be there. See what happened in Plateau State. Wherever, the same thing with Atiku. If his people know,
but they were yabbing Peter Obi then that they didn't see mammoth crowd in his campaigns. Perhaps he didn't mobilize the normal way.
Except the supporters don't know. If they know that, if he may not even be the one to.
Thank you.
There are chief clients
that will. In the real sense, you don't need to mobilize anybody. And if the people like you and want you and trust you, for me, the people that went to receive the president-elect yesterday, maybe half of them trust him, and some others are just there for their businesses. And go and check the paper, the newspaper advertorial today. As we're talking about ministerial appointment, some persons have gone there to place advert, congratulating, welcoming him, so that
he's back,
so that their voice will be heard. They know
which
that
of the newspapers are?
There are a lot of them there. There are advertisements welcoming. Oh, president-elect, you are welcome. What do they call it now? There's a song that this boy sings.
Yes.
The good thing is, I mentioned
or something like that.
34.
Let's go and take up. Let's even take up 60 seconds there. Why are they patronizing the newspapers alone? They should come here and patronize us.
I wonder.
They take 60 seconds, Jingo, and congratulate him for a successful race.
As soon as you do that, you'll be sure that my own will be the next. So he's back now. So we expect that a lot of things would take shape. He has said it when he was addressing supporters at his house that look, he's going to eat amala, so that today he will start work. You know, the meetings with party members, zoning in the National Assembly.
He said amala.
Yes.
I will recommend that book.
No.
It's longer lasting and more energy.
He's a Yoruba man, don't forget.
But he's the president of even the Igbos.
I agree with you, but that was not, has not taken away.
But when he was coming to the Southeast, was he not wearing
you are mentioning
Isiago?
What is
and you are quick to mention Akpu because you are Igbo.
But what did you say? Why did you say you will eat the logo of APC?
Which one do you want him to
the
eat?
logo of APC, what is that? The masara?
The granite soup. Okay, Ari, are you ready for us?
Yes.
Studio manager says he has some commercials. When we come back, your maize, I will take you to Sudan. Stay with us.